Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we are going to continue the materials series, the Is It Sustainable series, and today I am going through one other very requested material, which is bamboo. But the reason why I want to talk about bamboo is actually because it is one of the materials that is very visible within the sustainability community. Whenever we start to use a new material a lot or we have an increasing demand for something, I think it's a really good idea to sit down and find out, okay, what are the upsides to this material, but more importantly, what are the downsides to it, and what are some of the things that we need to be cautious of or to simply just have in mind. And that's what I want to do with this video. This is not, as with all the other videos, not an anti-bamboo video, not at all whatsoever. But I do really want to go over some of the pros and cons of bamboo and give you guys some more information about this product because you also requested it. So let's go. While the global and especially the European use of bamboo is a fairly new phenomenon, bamboo has played a very vital part in the building of our human civilization for 5,000 years in especially Asia and Africa and South America. And today it is estimated that more than 1 billion people are living in bamboo homes. That's 1/7 of the global population. Bamboo is also used as a raw material in furniture production and in paper making, construction, as a fuel in the form of charcoal oil, as a fiber for clothes, tableware, decor items, medicine, healthcare products, and as a food item. Because bamboo is naturally high in tons of vitamins and minerals and also proteins, and there are more than 200 different types of bamboo that is used for human consumption. Today, China is the world's biggest exporter of bamboo, with a collective market value of $10 billion, and the industry is responsible in China for over 35 billion jobs. But tons of other countries are also exporting bamboo, because this is a crop with over 1,200 different kinds of subspecies, and that means that it's able to grow basically anywhere in the world. Lots of places in the world. Today, the majority of bamboo production comes from China and India, but we also see countries like Canada growing their own bamboo, with a plant that is able to grow so many different places in the world. Why are many countries in Europe then still so dependent upon China and India for their main import? My guess is because the labor is cheaper, just like with fast fashion. Outsourcing the production of it or a material like this to a country where the average pay is generally lower makes for a larger supply chain, but generally it keeps the price of the product down. Larger supply chains come with downsides, both in terms of transportation emissions, aka the environmental issues of it all. There is often in larger supply chains a lack of transparency when it comes to workers' wages and conditions, working conditions, and generally a larger supply chain does make for more mistakes. Actually, a lot of bamboo comes completely without any regulation and certification from third parties, which means that it can be super difficult to find out exactly how this material was produced. But before we dive into the issues with the industry, let's take a look at what makes bamboo a green material. First of all, bamboo is not actually a type of wood, which is often a misconception that I have seen. It's actually a type of grass. And although it's bigger than other grass types, it does come with some of the same fast-growing benefits. Bamboo can also grow in places that would otherwise have been unfit for vegetation, like on rocky hills or on slopes. So ideally, bamboo production and bamboo fields and forests would not have to replace any natural forests. Bamboo also grows fast, much faster than trees. Where a tree can take 30 to 50 years to grow big enough to become timber, bamboo only takes 3 years to get established, and then it will take the new shoots about 60 days to grow to a proper size. Therefore, bamboo could replace the demand for tropical hardwood and reduce the deforestation of tropical forests. Bamboo production in especially Africa has also had extremely positive effects on the local economies, because the communities are no longer dependent on importing expensive wood from Europe, but they can instead be self-sufficient in bamboo. A typical bamboo grove also releases around 35% more oxygen than similar-sized trees. Bamboo also has a lower carbon footprint than FSC-certified tropical hardwood. Bamboo products imported to Europe have a lower carbon footprint than local European softwood, and bamboo has higher yield than trees, and currently bamboo has a higher market value. Bamboo generates a higher profit for farmers than trees, and although that does sound nice, it can actually be a big problem. In China, it was reported that bamboo farmers are turning natural forests, fields, and farmland into bamboo forests. When you cut down natural forests in order to produce a certain product, you create a monoculture. And in this case, it's bamboo. And a monoculture can have devastating effects on natural habitats for animals, on biodiversity, on soil quality, and microbial activity. All of these are elements that need to function in order to have a functioning ecosystem. A report showed that from the late 80s to the late 90s, 23 to 30% of China's natural forests had been cut down in order to make room for bamboo production. And this is a report from 2014. An investigation revealed many environmental concerns associated with growing, harvesting, and converting bamboo to useful products. Problems reported throughout bamboo-producing regions included clearing of natural forests for the establishment of bamboo plantations, creating monoculture plantations, loss of biodiversity, substantial use of fertilizers and pesticides despite claims that bamboo crops required neither of these treatments, and unsustainable harvesting of natural stands of bamboo. We concluded our earlier report with the observation that the unquestioned green status of bamboo products needed serious re-evaluation, and that at a minimum third-party certification should be required before awarding any kind of green status to bamboo products. To conclude, although bamboo is a crop with a lot of low impact properties, unsustainable farming methods are still used even though they come with all of these amazing upsides. And that's something that I've seen whilst researching for this video. And if you search for bamboo impact on any kind of search engine, the first thing that will come up are the properties, the potential of bamboo, and not exactly how it is actually being produced in a lot of cases. So what this report is initially just saying is that we need more transparency when it comes to these things. So the bamboo industry can independently claim that they are the most sustainable product in the world. However, no third-party certifications or regulations are in place to make sure that these goals are even met in the first place. What I take from this is that it is not necessarily the most sustainable idea in the world to go out and buy tons of aesthetically pleasing bamboo products that you don't really need, especially not if you want to live more sustainably. So when buying a bamboo product, it can be a good idea to find suppliers or companies that seem more transparent with their entire supply chain, that perhaps disclose on their website if they used fertilizer, if it's organic, where it was harvested. But as it was just mentioned 3 seconds ago, that information is not necessarily super accessible to the public, and it can be really difficult to find out. But if we have a bamboo spoon and we use that hundreds of times rather than disposable plastic, is it then more sustainable? Yes, I do think it is, because a reusable product always beats a disposable product. Although bamboo might be a material with tons of benefits, especially if it's produced and harvested sustainably, what happens when there is an increase of demand for this product, and what happens to the animals that eat this product, aka pandas? This is a completely fair question, as something that I also really wanted to include in this video, because pandas' main diet is bamboo. 98% of what pandas eat on the daily is bamboo. So let's do this. Pandas have previously been categorized as an endangered species, with as little as 1,800 wild pandas left in China as of 2014. Luckily, the panda population showed a 70% increase through 2016. The pandas' delicate situation had been primarily caused by hunting and human intrusion on wild habitats, both for agricultural purposes as well as for city expansion and hunting. However, the bamboo that is becoming increasingly popular to use both for household items as well as for construction is not the same bamboo as the pandas are eating. But as I see it, that's not actually the most important part of this topic. Although it's nice that it's not the same kind of bamboo the pandas are eating as we are using for construction and household items and etc, etc. But one of the main reasons why pandas were endangered in the first place was because of habitat loss. And as we now know, it is not completely uncommon that natural habitats are ruined or simply cleared out to make room for bamboo production. It's a good thing to note that pandas only live in 3 provinces in China. So if you have some material on your hands that is not produced in China, it very possibly did not affect pandas in any way, shape or form. But to say that all bamboo production has literally no effect on panda population and health is a bit of a stretch, I think, with the entire untransparent supply chain in mind, and also having in mind that China still is the main or biggest exporter of bamboo products. But what about single-use bamboo as an alternative to single-use plastic? This is something I've seen so many companies and shops and restaurants do, replacing their disposable plasticware with disposable bamboo. And this is often a switch that is advertised as super duper sustainable. But is it really? We saw earlier that bamboo has a lower carbon footprint than wood, but bamboo actually has a higher carbon footprint than plastic. This is because bamboo requires more resources to produce, and because we need more of the material to produce a certain item than we do with plastic. The different impact of these items and the different resource use of them becomes super clear when we compare plastic straws with bamboo straws. So I'll just show you this study now so you can sort of one plastic straw weighing in at 0.20 grams emits 1.45 grams of CO2, whereas a bamboo straw weighing 3.8 grams emits 38.87 grams of CO2. The report showed that 100% of the plastic straws were thrown away after one use, whereas the average bamboo straw was kept for 5 years and 25% of them were composted. The bamboo straw would have to be used over 27 times before it would have a lower carbon footprint than the plastic straw. But over a span of the average 5 years, that is not unrealistic either. But there's more. 94% of the impact of the bamboo straw could be traced back to transportation emissions. Only 2% of the overall impact came from the production of the product, and 4% came from packaging. Whereas 69% of the impact of the plastic straw came from the impact of the embedded material, aka the fossil materials. 7% came from the production of the plastic, 3% came from packaging, 1% came from disposal, and 20% came from transportation. Bamboo reusables will automatically have a lower carbon footprint when they are in fact reused, which brings me back to the point about bamboo disposables. They actually have a higher carbon footprint because it required more to make. They are heavier, that goes into the transportation emissions, and generally it required more materials and more resources to produce them. So I wouldn't necessarily call the bamboo disposable cups, plates, cutlery, whatever, a sustainable option. It's an aesthetically pleasing option, yes. But there are of course also more factors to be taken into account, and not just CO2 emissions, because when you have a disposable plastic product, it will never ever break down no matter how you treat it, because plastic is a fossil material, just keep on being here forever, never. And if you leave it in nature, it will release microplastic ever so slowly, and again, never going to disappear, never going to go away. And plastic pollution is a huge problem, which ideally I think is why we started to introduce biodegradable or compostable disposables instead. But see, the thing is, when we use bamboo disposables, or at many restaurants and like street food places where I've seen it, they are just tossing them in a normal bin, and that bin is then going to either a waste to incinerate a plant or a landfill. And the thing is, when you take natural organic waste and you put it in landfill, that is not going to biodegrade or compost either. So the only upside here is really that bamboo does not release microplastic, and that I think is a rather low bar for sustainability. So reuse above all. To me, zero waste is not only about refusing plastic waste and generally trying to reduce my plastic waste, it's also about refusing and reducing all kinds of waste, no matter the material. But there are also tons of other bamboo products that I really want to mention, and that is the bamboo plastic fiber cups, which are reusable but are often advertised as though they seem and look and can be used like plastic products, but they are 100% made from bamboo. Are they now? This plastic-looking bamboo material often has many different names, ranging from BPC to molded bamboo to molded bamboo plastic composite. And the reason why it looks and feels a lot like plastic is because it often is. Composite means that more materials are mixed together, and in this case, bamboo fiber is used as a filler or a reinforcer. It is then mixed with a matrix, something to hold the fibers in place, and that's often a resin epoxy, which is a synthetic polymer and classified as a plastic. The matrix can also be composed of bioplastic or silicone or glass fiber. And sometimes the products are also treated with a chemical plastic coating to give them the proper qualities that they need as the product. All of these processes make the once fully compostable bamboo product completely unable to break down naturally. And these products, if they are coated with plastic or if they have plastic fillers, they are often not the best quality. And that means that it will release harmful chemicals when in touch with, for instance, higher temperatures like hot coffee. Completely like a lot of cheap plastic products will. So basically no difference there. Bamboo is an amazing renewable material with so many amazing potential properties, but this is not necessarily realized in the most ideal way yet. Like for instance, bamboo's ability to grow on places where other vegetations would not necessarily be able to, and yet we still cut trees down in order to make room for bamboo plantations. We can do better, guys. Like seriously, we can do better. My point is here that the sustainability effect of bamboo should not be measured from how it could be used, but how it is used. Not how it could be produced, but how it is being produced. Am I making sense? The sustainability of bamboo cannot be reached without the entire supply chain in mind. Bamboo production is ideally one of the most sustainable on the planet, but realistically it is still flawed and lacks transparency and certifications. Opting for reusable bamboo rather than single-use plastic is definitely a good eco-switch if you end up using them, but using single-use bamboo products is less so. Processed bamboo fiber products are not always free from plastic and can make the materials harder to compost, and they are not necessarily free from harmful chemicals just because there's bamboo in it as well. If you have bamboo products at home, definitely use them. If there is a product that you need and you can find it in bamboo or in plastic, definitely buy the bamboo kind if you want it. Just remember to use it, which is kind of just what I wanted to get at here. A product, especially a reusable product, is only as sustainable as the number of times that you use it. And that goes for every single kind of material and every single product. But when it comes to single-use bamboo products, I would much rather bring my reusables if I'm going on a picnic or if I'm going a place where they use them. Of course, if you do have a compost at home and you have to use the bamboo single-use products, you can of course simply just compost it, which is it's perfectly good for that as well. So yeah, you know, balance, it's great. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, and you can also leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you have any other information that I didn't put in this video, share it with the rest of the group. It could be great. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Take really good care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!